Hi, this is Ted Kelly with Ted's Hospitality Minute. Hey, today we've got a great guest on, Ravi Patel with Sina Hospitality. Going to come on and tell us all about them and what they're doing over there, all the great things, and kind of give us their forecast for how things are looking for 2021. Good morning, Ravi. How are you?
Good morning, Ted. Great. How are you?
I am doing well, man. Thanks for joining us on the THM. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you. How did you get in the hospitality business and start your own company? And it sounds like things are going great over there. Tell us about you.
Yeah, so it's definitely not the normal path of a typical hotel owner. So when I was 16, I actually worked in my dad's hotel. So I was doing front desk, but then we didn't have a breakfast person, so I was doing that and trying to check people in and out. So that was the early 2000s, but it was a good learning experience. And then from there, my background is in information technology. So I actually went to college. I would help on the weekends with just whether it was doing laundry or saying, hey, can you go here and set up some rooms? So I did all that kind of stuff. And I worked in tech for a few years. And then I came home and said, you know what? I want to start my own company. And so my dad really was a major influence on telling me, hey, this is how you should really build a company. This is the things that you should really be mindful of. Uh, and with that, we were able to successfully launch Sina Hospitality, which now we have 25 hotels in four different states. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so we're growing, and we'll probably be in two more states this year. So
Man, that is excellent. So you're actually second generation then. You're
yes,
you're keeping it going. You're keeping the light on. Huh?
yep,
Oh man, that is so awesome. I kudos to you. I happen to be a second generation as well business owner. And I just remember all the things that my dad was putting me through, I guess what you call on the job training.
yep,
So he was putting me through it coming up, and I didn't understand it, and I would kind of be like, man, I don't want to do this, but it really is kind of cutting your teeth on, you know, all the things that you kind of got to go through as a business owner. So it's not always happy go lucky. Sometimes it's got to rain a little bit, but the sun
yep,
comes back out, right?
yep.
Well, tell us a little bit about how 2020 fared for you guys, and how are you going now as we turn the corner, I hope, right? Going into 2021. How was 2020? How did you guys manage that?
So 2020 was interesting. When COVID first happened, everybody in the industry was saying you need to watch out. This is going to affect your hotel. And we're sitting there thinking, like, we're doing okay. We're not really seeing any fluctuation in business. So maybe this isn't going to come into our region. And boy, were we wrong, right? So what ended up happening is we saw a lot of our competitors lay off and furlough a lot of their salaried positions along with hourly. And so we took the stance and said, we're not going to lay anybody off. We're going to keep the rate of pay the same. And we actually increased some of those people's pay during COVID. So, the PPP money from the lenders really helped to be able to do that. And we didn't want to rebuild the team. So I think what we all kind of learned is that the power of relationships and really the power of just trying to be the best employer you can be for your employees and really give them that opportunity because they have families and we don't the last thing you want to do is disrupt somebody's family life and say, hey, you don't have a job anymore. I mean, you know it's a business decision. It's not really popular during this time, but we felt like that was the right thing to do. And then what we also saw on the real estate side was that people were really struggling and they wanted to sell real estate at rock bottom prices. And so we were able to secure a few pieces of land well below market value to build future hotels. And so as we turn the corner into 2021, now we're able to capitalize on getting those solid extended stay brands. And we'll be actually doing at least one residence in this year, maybe two. I'm waiting on the second one. So,
Oh man, that is excellent. So I've always said on some of our earlier segments, as is with anything, if you've got the money or the resources, the 2020 year probably was the best time to really be looking for ways to get things done. Like for us, if we were trying to get clients to do a PIP, we're like, hey, if you've got the money, this is the best time to get it done. You don't have to deal with, interrupting guests. You can probably get some of the best pricing on your trade, your general contracting work. I mean, it was just a lot of positive factors for looking at 2020 as a reason to want to try to move forward as opposed to move backwards, right? So I kudos to you guys for seeing that opportunity window and taking advantage of it. So how 2021 looking for you guys? What are you guys looking to do in 2021? I know you talked about the residence in. Is the occupancy levels starting to come back for you guys? Are you seeing improvements there? How are things looking on that front?
Yeah, things are looking good. So, a lot of our hotels are in areas where there's sports tourism, and sports tourism didn't really die down. Uh, we had a few cancellations, but for the most part, you start to see people are still going out. With the rollout of the vaccine, people are willing to travel more, and so we're really starting to see occupancy tick right between like 55 and 60%. Some instances on the weekend, you may be sold out. Um,
Wow.
so I think that things are definitely turning the corner. I would say that if you're in like a drive to market or any kind of like suburban market, you're probably going to see the numbers come back faster. I think the major metropolitan areas are going to take some time to come back.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with you there. I think there's some downtown urban hotels that's going to struggle for a little while before they kind of get back to any kind of normalcy. I always say I think the downtown and urban properties, that's going to all be predicated on the business traveler getting back on the airplane, right? And being in a hotel from a Monday, say through Thursday night, right? That's got to be the catalyst for that environment to really get back on its feet. And until you kind of see the vaccine rollout kind of picking up and more folks getting it, I don't know. I always kind of gauge end of the year 2022 kind of before things start to look like they're getting back to real normal for the business cycle, right? But that's excellent. So it sounds like you guys are faring well. You've got new projects on the way under development. You guys also manage. Do you manage just your properties or do you manage other folks' properties?
So we've been asked that question a lot in the past. So for right now, we only manage our own properties. I feel like we do a good job, but then I'm scared to go and manage somebody else's because they may not feel the same way. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's always an interesting mix when you feel like you develop that process or that model on how you get it done, and then to whether you keep that inside or whether you decide to step out and try to venture out with some other folks is always an interesting decision to make. But it sounds like what you're doing over there within Sina is working well for you guys, right?
yeah, we've this year we're going to open two hotels. So there are two Fairfield Inns in Louisville, Kentucky. One is at the airport. One is a little bit south of there. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think in terms of what we've been able to do, it's been definitely been slow growth, but it's been growth where we really feel like we can do a lot of good. We have a Spring Hill Suites in Chester, Virginia, which is a little bit outside of Richmond, coming up as well. That should open in March of 2022. It's a little different. It's got a large scale meeting space. It's a all steel and concrete building, so it's kind of stepping outside of the box, but I think it's going to be a great hotel. A lot of people are going to like it. So,
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So you guys are up to, I think you said 25 properties.
hmm
So possibly by year end, you may be somewhere between 25, 27, 28. That sounds like.
I think so.
Uh,
Yeah.
so things are definitely on the upswing for you guys. I think that is wonderful, man. Um, Anything else you want to tell us about Cena?
Yeah, I would say, we're a family-owned company, right? We don't take investors, and so we're always kind of looking for opportunities by way of somebody saying, "Hey, you should look here," or somebody that maybe wants to come work for us but doesn't know a lot about us. I'd
Right.
say we treat our team members like family. and really look out for their best interests. And I think that that's probably more magnified now because of COVID.
Right.
Um, and so I would say that, anybody that's looking to work with us or for us, definitely check us out on LinkedIn or Facebook, or send me an email, and it'll be, I'm pretty responsive. So
All right. That's awesome. Well, Ravi, thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your time today. And we appreciate you. We appreciate Sina, and we're looking forward to hearing a lot more great things about your group and what all you're doing over there. And I don't know, do you ever catch on to any of the conferences? I don't know if you do Hunters or
yeah,
Lodging Conference or any of those.
yep.
I am trying to figure out my schedule for those. I think the Hunters Conference got moved a little bit.
Hmm.
I'm planning to try to attend the lodging conference right now. So if we're at those conferences, I'd love to connect with you in person and sit down and chat with you further.
Definitely. Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for the time. This is Ted, another Ted's Hospitality Minute. You guys have a great day.